get into those ground stroke exchanges. If we see very much of that, I imagine a lot of those matches have gone to tiebreakers, and I'm sure that we'll see a few.
John Isner to
What's your over/under? How many tiebreaks we get today?
I think we could have 3 at least.
They have never played in a major, so they've never played a 5-set match. They've played 9 career matches, all 3 sets. 4 out of the 9 have ended in a 3rd set tie.
Wow, I think that's a good hit right there.
Love 30.
So Isner's results 3rd round here last week at the Western and Southern Open. Lost to Tsitsipas.
It's a nice little play there from Stevie Johnson, really coming forward, putting some pressure on Isner, but
15-30.
good pass from John. Bit of a tricky spot to be in early in a 5-set match there. Don't want to get down a break quick.
all.
So in a year, Jan Michael, where everything is so different, John's game is the same. Could that be a benefit for him in this unique U.S. Open?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think it's, I mean, that big serve right there never hurts to have on his side of things. But, you know, for me, it's always, I think John has a look at going deep into a draw here at the U.S. Open. You know, I figure on this surface or grass, he's got a chance pretty much every time he steps in the court.
Game.
But it's having you know, some early first-round matches where he doesn't have to go 5 sets and play, you know, all these tiebreakers and find a way to win these matches, and then have to go up against some of the greats that are out there these days. You know, that's a lot to ask, in my opinion. So,
when we just this court previously, we saw a match between 2 of the WTA players, Sevastova and Goff, where there were no free points, and that's why I'm asking the question, because John Isner should be loaded with free points.
He is loaded with free points, and the thing is, can he get enough of those on his serve, but also get the early breaks in these matches? That's not an easy thing to get past against a Stevie Johnson, who also has a very good serve and applies a lot of pressure himself. So that's a tough matchup here against these 2 guys. But looking for the free points is one thing on the serve, but getting through those games and having a 6-2 set or a 6-3 set is a lot better than 7-6, 7-6, you know, 6-7, 7-6, or whatever it might be. Which is a scoreline 10 that
15 love.
You're not surprised to see when you see John Isner on the court.
Love.
The thing that's funny for me, again, Ted, is actually not the fact that, well, Isner actually returns pretty well. He puts a lot of balls back in the court. It's sort of the second ball and the third ball that could be makeable, that where he loses these points is the issue, in my opinion.
40 love.
Second serve there from Stevie Johnson. He's got a lot of control with that kick.
And I don't know if you felt
40-15.
when you played, when you know your opponent so well, you obviously know their games pretty well. There is no mystery, is there?
No, not necessarily. It's, you know, it's can you bring those tools, your best tools, to the court on that day?
Game, Johnson.
It's also what can I do to minimize
1 game more, first set.
My friend or, you know, my opponent today that I know so well, you know, his weapons. And, you know, what can I change maybe just a little bit, or what maybe I have to reverse employ some kind of a strategy that maybe they're not thinking of as my normal way of playing. Kind of slide one in under the radar if possible.
Love 15.
We'll see Stevie quite often today trying to take that ball out of the strike zone of the Isner ground strokes. That's an unbelievable stab there on that.
Love 30.
Often on a shot like that, you might get a little smile out of Stevie Johnson. No smile there. He'll take it.
Spot on the line. Maybe the outside.
15-30.
For a lot of years, that has been the equalizer.
Boy, that serve out wide that he's able to hit actually almost flat. He can spin it. He spun that one, but can almost get it flat. It's something just, it's tough to cover that when he's got the tee in the bag just as easy. For me, Ted, it's always, you take the big servers out there, they usually favor a serve on each side. It's their favorite serve, and they may be able to hit the other serve pretty well. Also, for Big John, you know, when you're playing against those players, you try to take away that you know, the best stroke. For Big John, it's really tough to pick one. I've sort of struggled to ever figure out what's his favorite.
40-30.
I was one of those players, Ted. I hated to guess. I didn't want to guess. It's react, and not you know, hope that I jump to the right spot.
Does he force you to guess?
Well, I think that he does. I think he forces a lot of guys to guess. I think that's the thing. It's what else are you gonna do?
Well, it's
Deuce.
why at 35 he's still relevant. 22 in the world. The ATP has introduced in the last year or so this serve rating computed formula. It hurts my head to see how they computed, but Isner comes out number one.
Interesting.
Percentage of service
Advantage.
games won. He's
Isner.
number 2 to Routledge.
Okay.
Over the last 52 weeks now. Yeah, 52 weeks is it.
That's another dang good server right there in Raonic. Ruthless precision in both of these guys.
You say that percentage of service games won being second to Routledge, that means 3 great champions are behind him. That's pretty astounding. See David Person.
Maka.
Advantage Isner.
Serve out wide, that one a lot flatter than the spin serve. He hit an ace earlier in this game. Of course, going T big just a couple of points ago. So
Game Isner.
Well, Johnson knows well. Not surprised.
Isner leads 2-1 first set.
So with Jan-Michael Gamble, Ted Robinson, this is the opening set, best of 5.
15 love.
Friends. Good friends. So good that John Isner, who's at Steve Johnson's wedding.
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, especially as 2 Americans that are playing first round, but it is what it is. Leave it out there.
There's an interesting story about that, only because both of these players are products of American college tennis. They both played at amongst the premier college tennis programs in the United States.
Yeah, I think they're two shining examples of that.
30-15.
These days, college is every bit of a good path to playing in the Pro Tour if that's your end sight goal, as doing it earlier, how I did it. It's a little bit, back when I was turning pro, it was a little bit harder to go through the college. College wasn't as much depth as there is now. Facilities have improved. Off-court training has improved. So there's really great opportunities to be a pro player and go through college. I think these guys have inspired a lot of young men to try to take the same path.
Both were 4-year college players. It's a part of 3 championship teams. So there's an intense rivalry. And when Johnson was married, he had his university is a well-known university in Los Angeles.
30-40.
USC, University of Southern California, the legendary football program, great marching band. Johnson had part of the marching band in his wedding, or at his reception rather, to play the famous USC fight song. And he got John Isner to join in. John put aside his school's roots and rivalry for a moment.
Well, he earned that with all that amazing tennis he played in college. He was almost invincible. Right here is facing a break point. That's a very makeable forehand. Big John there in the corner. This timed it just a little bit. Johnson forehand does have a lot of spin on it, though. You really have to watch that ball as it hits the court. It can really jump up. I've heard, Ted, that the courts are playing a little bit faster this year, having
advantage Johnson.
Not been on them this year. I can't really judge for myself. But it can take a little bit of getting used to. A lot of these players, however, are playing in Cincinnati. The Cincinnati event held here.
Deuce.
It's a nice return there from John, getting inside that baseline or right on it. Even at John's height, it's good play against the Stevie second serve. Really kick up pretty high.
Advantage Johnson. Let for service. Game Johnson.
It's the
2 games all, first set.
So the flip side, Jan Michael, to Isner ridiculous serve game record is his return game. He's won 8% of his return games in the last 52 weeks. So there we saw a game where he had 1 chance.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's funny. He's making these returns. He's putting balls back in the court, and that even on that break point, I thought hit a good return, and just didn't quite get over to the forehand side. You know, to neutralize that forehand or at least be somewhat offensive to get into that rally, and mistimed it there. So that's where the disconnect seems to be happening.
15 love.
It's not the return itself. He puts balls in the court.
At this point, at 35, is John who he's going to be?
Well, I think John's who he's going to be. I think he's done a lot of work on the groundies. I think that he dictates on the forehand fairly well when he gets control of the point. I think that the defensive forehand sometimes can be the issue. The backhand he's done the work on, it's not a bad return. He's got a pretty good two-hander. But there's something that's missing there with the string of how a point works. That's why he's not breaking. I've seen, you know, you can compare like an Ivo Karlovic, for example, who has another one of the big servers on tour. I don't think he returns as well as John Isner does. You'll see him slice more balls. You see him just hit forehands as hard as he can. I don't think it's as predictably good of a return that's going back in the court. So, you know, John's figured it out, but
Isner.
Gotta make the next one.
Isner leads 3-2 first set.
How dare those fans occupy the seats?
But what I was struck by was all the players that were out watching other matches. Players that were, you know, may have had a match later today. They had 3-4 hours to kill, so they go out and watch somebody play for an hour. And you just never see it at a major.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier
15
to move around
love.
the grounds here right now without, you know, people everywhere, and that is something obviously as a player and then as a coach, it's something you don't recommend to the player. You want to try to conserve that energy.
30 love.
Fighting through crowds, and you know, it's tough.
Wondering if there'll be a push amongst this effort to put together an association/union of the players.
30-15.
Going forward there and negotiate for pool tables, basketball hoops, miniature golf courses, all laid out on the grounds of the majors.
I'm surprised there wasn't like a big chess where you move the big pieces out there.
40-15.
7 p.m. in the evening in New York City, the first night of the U.S. Open. This match on Louis Armstrong Stadium.
40-30.
Until 1997, this was the main court of the Open.
That backhand return there, another good example of what I think is actually a pretty solid shot from the John Isner arsenal.
Game Johnson. 3 games all.
In this
first set.
First set, 1 break point for Isner in Johnson's first service game. Steve's best U.S. Open, Steve Johnson, 3rd round. Isner twice to the quarters. Winner of this to get to a quarter this year, they'd likely have to go through Djokovic.
15
Not
love.
an easy thing. No one has accomplished this year so far. Beautiful passing shot at the line. They're not a bad volley from Isner. Stevie Johnson showing those fast feet. He's a great athlete. He can move. Strokes there from Big John. He's getting set up on those forehands. It's a very good ball.
30-15.
See you later on that one.
40-15. Game, Isner. New balls, please. Isner leads 4-3, first set.
Unshakable on that serve. 12 aces now. Steve Johnson knows as well as anybody how rare the looks he will find on his loose. After all these years of watching matches,
15 love.
prep in our world for this, Jan Michael, I do something I've never done for anybody else. I immediately go through tiebreak records. Immediately, because you know what percentage of sets are going to end there.
And the high degree of
30 love
that he's won over his career is the very impressive stat there. I don't have it in front of me, but I know it's a very impressive stat versus other guys who've played that many tiebreakers, near that many.
Let's for service.
And I think that in the end, part of that is because he actually puts quite a few returns in play, and wins, gets some of those tiebreaker wins because he's able to make guys nervous, and the fact that they're going up against this huge serve in a breaker. Draws a double fault or two.
Johnson 40 love.
Forehand quite often of John Isner. That's the shot that I think you'll see more errors on the return side of things. Again, when he gets offensive with it, when he gets set up, it's a very good forehand. It's good service
Game,
there from
Johnson. 4-all, first set.
60%, by the way, is your answer. 60% on of Isner. That's his tiebreak winning percentage.
That's a good percentage right there. I mean, 60% is almost unbelievable. That's obviously why you see him winning most of those matches where he gets into 3 tiebreakers in a 2 out of 3 set match, or going the distance in the 5 setters.
There's a rule now at Wimbledon that's in place largely because
15
of
love.
2 crazy, ridiculous, insane matches that he's played. They're separated by 8 years, I think. I just wonder if John, we don't often get do-overs in life. John won 1 and he lost 1. I wonder how he'd feel if he could get that second one back, that semifinal back, and a tie break at 12 all.
Tough ball to attempt off of that slice.
15 all.
Johnson slice stays pretty low. Obviously a very tall guy. You got to get way under that ball. Hit the shot that he just attempted.
Fifteen 30.
Stevie Johnson just blocking that return back. Plenty of pace on it. Isner serve. They're setting up a couple of break points.
Here you go. I was wondering.
15-14.
As everybody who plays Isner wonders, how many shots am I going to get? Well, here's Johnson. Maybe the only chance you get in a set. He's got 2 of them.
We'll see if he covers the out wide serve. Isner's hit so well today. He's got T as well. Johnson's had a look at a few of those.
30-40.
So as much as you don't like that, Jim, either Johnson or do you guess?
I guess. It's
good.
Just tough to say. It's just not in my nature. Now, if he guessed wrong on that one. Pair of aces right there. You can't hit him any better than John hit those. 14 aces
in 5 games.
That's something. Funny thing is, Ted, I know John pretty well.
Advantage, Isner.
Friend, and I've given him a lot of flack about the fact that he hates getting aced, which is really funny to me. He likes to ace. You'd think it would get boring to hit that many aces, and he likes it. For sure, he likes it. But he doesn't like it very much when people ace him.
That's interesting.
He shakes his head. He can't believe they would dare ace him. It's so funny when.
Well, the ace to me is like a home run. I've never met a hitter that tired of hitting home runs.
Yes, it just doesn't get old. I agree.
Advantage, Isner.
30s has been pretty constant in this first set for Isner.
And Stevie Johnson from the way back with the one-hander right at the feet of Isner. That is a tough ball to handle.
That ball, you talked about that earlier. 6-10.
Look how far back Stevie is here, unleashing with that shot. If he did that from that far back, it's too good. The Dominic team backhand right there. Isner doesn't care. Another ace.
Advantage, Isner. Game, Isner.
Well, Johnson had 2 brief
Isner leads
looks.
5-4, first set.
Watching Steve Johnson here, Jan Michaels.
Love 15.
What's the mental toughness that a player needs to play John Isner, to play that powerful serve?
Well, I think you got to take care of things on your end. You got to shrug off the fact that he's going to hold serve big. And hold serve easily, often. I mean, you can liken it a little bit in a
15
way to who I think is the best server of all time, Pete Sampras, going up against Pete. You knew he's going to hold serve. You know, you're going to have to go out in the court and hold your own serve, and that is that. It was that simple. You're not going to have very many opportunities against the Sampras serve. Obviously, Isner a taller guy, a little bit of different equations there, but
Isner challenging the call on the left service line. The ball is
just take
called
care of what
in.
you can take care of, and you cannot control the fact that he's going to hit the lines and hit those serves to get him out of situations. And you can't get down on yourself, which is that's easier said than done, of course, but that's the reality. And Stevie Johnson, not a bad server. He's got a good serve himself. He's not going to hit as many aces as John.
30-15.
There's no reason he
Isner
can't hold
has 2
serve and get
challenges
himself
remaining.
to a tiebreaker if that's what it comes to.
$40-15.
Little hop there didn't help that ball get over the net from Isner.
$40-30. Game, Johnson.
Johnson's holding up his end of that
5-all, first set.
conversation, Jan Michael. 5 holds of serve.
Pretty good point here from both guys. Isner making him hit one more volley. Nice little roller there, but Stevie anticipating that shot, covering the court well in this volley. I think the tough thing, Ted, is convincing yourself when you have those opportunities and they're taken away from you so brutally by seeing those balls fired by you at 130 plus miles an hour is then to not get down on yourself.
Yeah, that was why I asked that question.
Right.
The mental toughness when you've had that one, you got 2 points there, and you can't play them because it just blows the ball by.
I guess the question I was asking you, would that affect you more, or would it affect you more to have like a second serve sitter and miss that against a player? It's you know, both of those kind of situations can be very tricky. I would almost rather the latter. I'd almost rather guy ace me, and that it's just something. Okay, I could do nothing about that.
Yeah, you can't control it.
So I would, for me, it's a little easier to swallow that.
$30-love.
Interesting. Perhaps interesting. Johnson's lost fewer points on his serve so far than Isner. 25 first serve
40
points, and
love.
Isner has won 17 of them aces.
Oh, we lost Stevie Johnson for a minute there, but he found his way back on the court.
Game Isner. Isner leads 6 games to 5. First set.
Percent chance there. I have learned though, Ted, that I'm a lot better suited to
Love 15.
sticking to what I'm seeing rather than predicting. Predictions are rarely on it. It's not my forte.
I always think of John Candy at moments like this through all my years here at the Open.
Who's John Candy?
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
That's a great movie.
We had planes earlier, now that was Long Island Railroad. Not many automobiles this year.
30-15.
That is true. You know, I don't mind the sound of the train. I actually kind of like it. The planes are just so loud that sometimes that's difficult to deal with as a player. Something about the train that's kind of cool.
Not bad quick for 30 all.
30 all.
Isner plays pretty close to the baseline though, so the returns that he does make can put a dent in his opponent pretty quickly. Stevie just hugging that baseline a little too much, needs to give himself a little more space there. Good response to that missed
40-30.
Good pace for Johnson.
Mere human numbers.
Looks like he got Isner mad. He aced him.
Game Johnson.
Exactly.
All right, so here we go to the first. We suspect, actually, I would almost guarantee it will be the last tiebreak tonight.
6 games all.
Tiebreak records
First set
head to
tiebreak.
head.
Each player receives 1 additional
Michael
challenge.
asked, I said, is there 60% career tiebreak record? Head to head against Johnson, 11 tiebreaks, 6-5 Johnson.
Wow.
And Johnson has won the last 5 tiebreaks they played. Now, they haven't played a match in 2 years, so I'm afraid of that.
The last 5.
Last 5. So the last match was April of 18.
1-0. Isner.
Houston.
Stevie Johnson plays well on those clay courts in Houston, winning the tournament a couple of times there. Nice heavy
1-0.
forehand inside out. Stevie's so fast getting around the ball on that forehand side. Watch that footwork right there. Generating a huge amount of topspin on that ball. Almost decided a little bit too late to come in on
Johnson.
the forehand. It's a play right there in the second serve, Ted, that I think that Isner could take that return and just follow it into the net, get that ball deep, force his opponent to make a pass, and if they make a pass, shrug it off. It doesn't matter. He's serving up next anyway.
2-all.
That backhand a little closer than John thought it was going to be when he left
Yes.
it to go long. Some strange spin on that. When Johnson hits the two-hander, sometimes he comes across it a little bit odd. It's a little bit of a sidewinder. Really watch that ball.
For a long time, Johnson didn't have that.
He's worked on it. It's gotten better.
Is
3-2 Isner.
so 3-2 on serve in this tiebreak. Isner serving 82%. First serves 82.
I think we can dare say that is superhuman.
It's a good reason why 53% haven't come back.
John knows he had an opportunity in that backhand to do a little bit more with it. No help from the net there with that let cord.
This is the latest in the calendar that the U.S. Open can be held. August 31st is the latest possible start date.
What does that mean exactly?
And
Because of the schedule.
because of the schedule. It's Labor Day this year is the latest it can be.
I see.
And so what I'm saying is if Labor Day would be September 1st, let's say, you here a week earlier, the heat would be a little more intense.
That's been quite nice outside to play some tennis.
I was going to say, for the first day of the Open, I was looking at the players. This isn't bad.
That's that play that I liked right there. Well executed. Got to the net.
4-3 Isner.
Little stab volley gets the mini break. Helps to have some pretty long range there on that volley coverage.
That's frustrating for Johnson. You don't know if you get that chance back. Oh, and Johnson does. That's a very big play.
4-all.
Very good return to get himself back in that rally. Nice floater.
5-4 Isner.
Answered by a big body ball.
I was just going to say,
Don't do that again.
that is complete self-defense. That point. Watch Isner
6-4
defending
Isner.
well behind the baseline, doing it well.
Yeah, John really dug in that point. You know, one of the things that he does off the court is work extremely hard on his fitness. He's always in the gym. He's always doing everything he possibly can to give himself a little bit of an edge in a situation just like that. That's where the work really pays off.
6-5. Isner.
Set point to Isner's serve.
Chance here for Big John to get one over Stevie after losing 5 straight tiebreakers. Can he do it?
Game and set. Isner. 7 games to 6.
Simply can't find the court anymore. That's a nice play, a little sneak volley there from Stevie coming in forward on that volley.
15 love.
Oh.
15 all.
Oh.
30-15.
Less air traffic. Today, at least until tonight, is coming from neighboring LaGuardia Airport, right over the Tennessee.
30 all.
Seems louder than normal. I don't remember it being that loud for a while. Tiny little chance here for John Isner to apply some pressure and see if he can get his racket on the ball here. Chicken going for the gigantic forehand up the line there.
40-30.
The tiebreaker would have been a good one there at 30 all. See if he can apply a little pressure, get to the net. Didn't need to hit that big.
Game Johnson. First game, second set.
He took his swing in that return at the 30 all point. Johnson is now being coached by his college coach, Peter Smith. He's himself in a long, successful run as the head tennis coach at USC.
Absolutely, Peter Smith, fantastic coach, got a great head on his shoulders, working both with Stevie and Sam Querrey. See them out at Carson quite often. Working with a young player out there, Tristan Boyer. So we're doing some work together and get on court with these guys a little bit and pick their brains.
It's a USTA's training center in Southern California.
Yeah, West Coast Center. Spot a lot of good players in that. It's great, Scott, because we have great college players out that way and all the
15 love.
West Coast pros in one spot. Some Americans trying to push each other to the next level. Good vibes out there. David Mink running the men's side of things out there.
Love. 40 love.
Amidst all the blizzard of podcasts and interviews lately, I heard Andy Murray asked if he could take one shot in the sport from somebody else. What would he take? And
Game is
the answer
now.
was going to be obvious because of what we're watching. He said,
One game more. Second set.
That is a pretty smart choice there. Right there with him. John Isner could take Andy Murray's consistency on the ground strokes. What would he have accomplished? What could he accomplish? I'd say quite a bit. I would say he might be unbeatable.
$15 love. $30 love.
Nice attacking tennis there from Stevie Johnson. So he's want to keep trying to put that pressure on Big John from baseline. Can't let him get control of those points. How about that backhand return?
30-15.
See, Ted, I still think he hits that ball pretty well.
yes.
Nice and simple. Good shoulder turn on that shot. Driving right through the ball. Another big return, this time a forehand.
30-all.
Pretty amazing that Stevie Johnson even got that return back. It shows his athletic ability right there in that little slice that he did.
Glad you referenced that about Isner earlier because that gets overlooked because of the serve.
Yeah, I think it's
At that
unfair.
point,
You
good
got-
athleticism.
Some stellar footwork there from Stevie Johnson.
40-30.
around that short ball. Not as easy as he made it look.
Let for service.
No lucky fan grabbing that ball. Unfortunately. Next year. Can't hit a return much better than that one. While catching the
Use.
line or just in front of it. Another good backhand return. As we're seeing the ball pretty well. It's early in the second set. Return side of things. And that tennis,
Advantage,
sort of what
Johnson.
I'm talking about there. That second ball, he didn't need to necessarily chip and charge on that ball. You know, get into the rally, try to maybe get a short ball for a forehand approach.
Let for service.
Just looks rushed on some of those decisions.
It's no challenging the call on the left center service line. The ball was called in.
He was pretty
service.
sure of himself there with that. Why not?
shot.
Game.
Johnson apologized.
I'm not sure what happened there. He misjudged it.
Greater 2 weeks, I think, of a marriage that I've ever seen between a tennis player and a crowd of Jimmy Connors on this court in 1991.
Johnson sends in the call on the left center service line. The ball was called in.
Stevie's tired of getting aced. Wants this one to be wide. Picked the wrong mark.
15 love. Johnson has 2 challenges remaining.
Ace 20 for Isner.
I'm trying to remember, Ted, if I can remember any match where 20 aces have been hit so early.
30 love.
We had a 5-set match. Yeah, we had a tiebreaker in the first set, but those are decent stats.
Let for service.
I thought I was kidding when I said 10 more years.
Let's hold John to it.
I don't think John would.
He's a family man now.
Thirty, 15.
Easily finding the court there. I'm not sure why John didn't play it.
Forty, 15.
Spin that could come off that Stevie Johnson forehand. It's hard to judge where that ball's going to go. You have to just assume they're all going to be in.
Would hear that. I guess occasionally we'll say it's a benefit of
40, 13.
spectators. You could hear Isner knew as soon as this ball left the front.
That ball right there is a little harder than you might think. A lot of spin off that little chip return. Stayed pretty low. Wasn't going to put it away with that shot. Put that away.
Game. Isner. 2 games all. Second set.
I have a hope, Jan Michael, that somewhere before it's over, and it may happen a month from now, I would love John Isner to get a shot at Nadal at Roland Garros.
You want Isner to play Nadal
Yes.
at Roland
They
Garros?
played once, way back, and Isner took him to 5 sets, which very few people have ever done that to Nadal at Roland Garros. Just to see. It would be fun.
I mean, I don't know if I wish that on anybody. You never know.
15
John
love.
Isner's the kind of guy that has that great equalizer with obviously the serve that can make any match close and make anybody nervous. Who knows? I mean, Rafa is human, I think. After all. That's too good a dropper there. Johnson's got some great hands on him. This tough shot looked pretty easy.
30 love.
So fast you just can't slow down. So plow on through.
30, 15. 40-15. Forty 30.
Steps in. Comes back at Johnson so fast.
Game, Johnson.
Well read from Johnson there. Nice speed forward from Stevie.
Love 15.
Got that ball nice and low in the pass, the first pass there.
Isner's put 2 more first serves in. Johnson has answered both.
Love 30.
Stevie doing a good job on both of those. At least the first pass, getting the ball a little bit low. Isner tends to hit a drop volley in those situations. Johnson quick to move forward on those opportunities. Ted, the one thing I have noticed is when the players kind of exclaim out there, it does echo a little bit now without fans in the seats.
Exclaiming will be okay.
It's an example of it.
We're worried about it getting beyond that. Johnson has his second opportunity.
15-14.
He had 2 break points in the first set game.
And in that situation at 15-40, we saw John Isner go T-ace, T-ace. If you're the guessing man, Ted, you're the guessing man, where would you guess that Big John's going to hit this one? I'm guessing out wide. I'm guessing out wide.
Going T.
I'm going to cover wide.
He's going for the eraser.
All right.
Let for service.
Gamble.
Aced.
Oh, Stevie Johnson gets there and gets that.
Johnson leads 4-2, second set.
Isner.
Watch how well Stevie Johnson covers this court. Not only the huge serve, this monster forehand. Somehow gets a racket on this, and he does have that ball control to make that shot. He could have hit it. Could have even taken it cross court.
That's an excellent point, Jay. Because Johnson made that commitment. It could be 4 or 5 years ago now, where he spent an offseason really improved his fitness, and he's maintained it, which is.
Yeah, he changed his eating style. More scientific diet for him. Did a a lot more training off court, improved his already impressive speed. Also did a little bit of work on that two-handed backhand. He still continues to refine that shot.
15 love.
A little bit of diversity in those groundies. He's already got one of the best slices in the world on that side. It's nice for him to be able to come over it a few times, passing shots, for example. Turns.
Acknowledges.
15-all.
Obvious scenario of this game is break of serve against Isner only has value if you hold.
$30-15. $40-15. Game Johnson.
Yes, it does.
Johnson leads 5 games to 2 second set. First set is now.
2 games there. I think we have settled that attack.
Especially when these guys haven't played really since the Australian Open. Nobody's played 3 out of 5 set matches.
That's
15 love.
We saw one highly rated player, Schwartzman, had cramping issues today as he fell in 5 sets.
Let for service. $30 love. $40 love.
There, good depth on that one. Smart play here from John Isner going behind Stevie Johnson, who moves so well into the open court. Got burned on that pass.
Game Isner.
Clean ace, 23rd for Isner.
Johnson leads 5 games to 3, second set.
Is there any serve he can't hit?
That's the thing about John Isner, that no. The answer to that is no. There is no serve he can't hit. He can hit all the spots. He seems to be able to hit all the spots equally well. So when you're trying to hedge your bet or take away their favorite, again, it's one of my favorite things to employ on opponents. It's really tricky to figure that one out. There's a guy playing
15 love.
by the name of Wayne Arthurs. Remember Wayne Arthurs?
Oh, yeah.
I consider him to have one of the best serves of all time as well, and you just couldn't figure out where Wayne was going to hit the ball. Try to take away something, and he hit the other. Big lefty serve, he hit it completely flat in the deuce court. So in those situations,
15-all.
Ted, you just got to take care of your own. And look here, you have Stevie Johnson with an opportunity to serve this second set out and even things up, even though he's nowhere near the ace count. It is 23-5, 23-6.
(30-15).
Big John reading that
30-all.
forehand that time. Ted found a way to get that one back.
Johnson
40-30.
tee, and that gets him set point.
Nice positive energy there from Stevie after that big serve.
View was terrific. You saw the one ball Isner hit just skimmed the net.
Yeah, I quite like that new view that we're seeing there on that. It shows you how patient John
Yes.
was in that point, getting around those forehands. Those slices are coming off of the Stevie Johnson racket. Not easy to deal with. They stay low and you have to generate a lot of your own pace. It's a good point right there from John Isner. Nice volley to finish it off. It's that right side one though, Ted, that I'm not a huge fan of. You have to go way on that outside angle. It's tough to see what's going on. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Advantage Johnson.
See, I like this too because Johnson doesn't even waste the effort to save himself.
Yeah, he's not even going to go there. Like, no, I'm going to take that.
Set point.
I don't think John even turned around to look if he was sorry or not.
And set a piece.
Game and second
Not
set.
bad.
Johnson 6-3. 1-all.
Johnson says forget the tie break. Of course, it's August 31st, so we should be in the middle of the National Hockey League Stanley Cup playoffs as well. Makes sense.
Third set.
Also,
Isner to serve.
returning serving as Isner would be like being a goaltender in hockey. Right? You just want to get your stick on the ball.
Exactly.
It's just, I mean, that's the hardest thing, right?
A little different, though. You don't want to get your body in the way of the ball.
Right.
You don't have that padding. Those goalies.
La 15.
See Stevie Johnson continuing to kind of poke that ball back, that just float return there. And so far, John Isner unwilling to serve in volley. We've seen him come in, but he's not really coming in off the serve itself.
As soon as you say that, he did.
That's a but what that is. He lost that point, but that's a veteran
Love
play. You
13.
can't allow your opponent to continue to just float balls back, you know, at will. That's just too hard of a ball to put away. There's no pace in those returns. That's another great passing shot from Stevie Johnson off that backhand side.
Love 40.
It's a scary spot right here for John Isner.
15-40.
Well, if Isner can pull an eraser out, he needs it right here. There it is.
30-40.
The first.
I will say, I've seen him get out of this situation more times than I can count.
That was his fastest serve of the match. 24th ace.
Johnson is challenging the call on the right at the service line. The ball was called in.
Johnson would like proof that that's the 25th.
This tee serve looked like it caught the line, but we'll get a second look at it. Oh. That's a hope and a prayer kind of challenge.
Use.
Caught the line, but on the inside.
Johnson has 2 challenges remaining. Advantage, Isner.
John getting fired up, rightfully so, after coming back from love 40. Not easy to do. Big serve or not. Takes a lot of focus.
Is there a visual component, Jan, like when you
Yes.
see Isner talks and he's falling into the court at that height? Does it feel like it's closer to you? Is there anything to that?
Well, I tell you, it jumps up extremely high. His serve, even his, well, let's call it topspin serves, those flatter serves, still get up out of your strike zone quite a bit from his height that he hits it at. And yes, because he follows through, he's way into the court, so if you hit the ball short, that ball there. If you hit the ball short, that return on the last one.
Advantage,
He
Isner.
really has an edge quickly in the point to dictate and either get to the net or get way ahead in the rally, which is how he needs to play tennis. He needs to get ahead in those points as quickly as possible.
Light for service. Game is
drop shot.
First game, third set.
That's a heck of an escape for Isner. Had just one break of serve in the match and won the second set for Johnson. First set. With a tie break. So it's right now it's the matches we've become accustomed to over the years with John Isner. Very little margins.
Just doesn't give his opponents very much, Ted, and that last game's a good example of that. He had a few unforced errors, some good passes there from Stevie to get himself ahead in that game.
Lower left there, it's an aerial view. That is Louis Armstrong Stadium.
National Tennis Center.
15 love.
Continues to get more and more impressive and more beautiful.
Love.
Big John was looking for the dropper that time. Telegraphed there from the Stevie Johnson forehand racket.
30-15.
Oh!
40-15.
Well,
40-30.
Baseline, and look, he knows he played an out ball.
I was just going to ask you that. Was that an illusion? No, you
sure
saw
that
it.
was
Okay.
going out. No
That's
way
what I
that's
thought.
going to catch the line. Pretty quick reflexes to even volley that shot.
I was stunned because you just
was
so rarely see the pros do that. Ball now looms a little larger. It's
Use.
the deuce.
It's funny you say that, Ted, because as soon as he took that volley, I said, is that going to cost him possibly? It's still 40-30, but that is something that would stick with you for the set if you get broken in an opportunity like that.
Johnson Isner has had
Advantage Johnson.
one break point in this match. Goes back to an hour and a half ago when we referenced how masterful John is serving, but nearly the results return.
Game Johnson.
Survives the game for 1-all.
1 game all, third set.
That's one of the things that Stevie does so well when you play him. In the deuce court, he has an extremely well-developed serve out wide. He's got a good grasp of that slider out wide, so you have to respect that ball, and that allows him to hit the tee serve when he needs it. There's Peters with himself.
Had one of the great college tennis programs in the United States. Last run was when Steve Johnson was the leader.
Yeah, arguably the best college player of all time in Steve
15
Johnson.
love.
John was darn good himself, so that gives you an idea. At the end of his USC time, he brought in and nurtured another name that's going to make his way into the pro world, Brandon Holt. Mother was an okay player named Tracy Austin. As always told Brandon, it's back.
Oh! I think Tracy's
13 love.
backhand. Can't hit it much better than that. To this day, she doesn't miss a ball. Do a lot of events with Tracy. Work with her a lot at Tennis Channel. Watch her on the court. Pretty competitive individual.
40 love.
Raised a great family. Brandon is
Absolutely.
as play resumes here, and whenever they can get the tournaments back, full qualifiers and challengers, he's going to make his way into the pro world.
Game Isner. New balls, please.
So third set starts.
Isner leads 2 games to 1, third set, 1 set all.
So we have one major. It's stark contrast. 16 active active women players right now. 16 WTA players that are active at the age. Only 7 men.
15 left.
And of those 7, only 3 are here.
2 of them are missing.
Right. And of the 3 that are here, Chilich, who won this title.
Johnson is challenging the call on the left center service line. The ball was called out.
We have Andy Murray, that is a great champion, but is not considered right now where he is in his career. That's not what he's thinking. And then you have Djokovic. So it's an amazing way to look at how Djokovic would seem to be a heavy favorite in this field.
Oh, certainly, I would take the word seem out of there. He is the heavy favorite. But that's a thing that that's a privilege he has certainly earned
30 left.
through his amazing play. I'll tell you what, Andy Murray is going to be interesting. He seems to be injury-free, playing pretty well.
Well, his win over Zverev here last week was impressive.
Absolutely.
I think, wouldn't you agree that the best of 5 is a major question?
30-15.
Well, again, that's why I say if he can be injury-free and play tennis without concern of his own health, and then I think he's a threat against whoever he plays. Tactically,
40-15.
The big 3 are the only ones that really are at his level tactically.
The other active
Game. Johnson.
winners, obviously,
2 games all. Third set.
Wawrinka, and a lot of people may forget because he's out of sight right now. Del Potro. Sadly, Del Potro just had another surgery.
So many injuries. I feel bad for him. A lot of people want to see him back on the tour. So, fun guy to see compete out there. For me, it's having injuries that is sort of ending my career. I feel very badly for him to hopefully just be injury-free in life. It took a long time for me to get over the things that I had to deal with. Pretty straightforward last game there for Stevie Johnson.
Reminder, usopen.org has everything up to date, real-time stats,
La
scores,
15.
draws as players advance in these early days, all of it on one site, usopen.org.
All.
He's going to be doing a good job of reading that play that John Isner likes so well with the forehand inside out, get to the net, volley to the open court, couldn't track it down.
Thirty 15.
Oh.
40-15.
Isner's winning 72% on his second serve. Now, he hasn't had to hit a lot of them. Still, there's no weakness.
Well, that's the thing about that second serve kick. It really gets so far into the strike. So.
Johnson frustrated with that
Isner.
at the previous point.
Isner leads 3-2, third set, 1 settle.
They go again, 10 to 7-foot pitchers, of which there have been a few. That is the batter phenomenon as the pitcher suddenly looks.
Isner challenging the call on the right center service line. The ball was called in.
Gigantic.
So I don't know if it's the same with further distance, obviously, in the tennis court.
Get a second look at this call here. Caught the line. Well, for
15
me,
love.
it would have
Isner
looked
has
pretty like he was a pretty big
2 challenges
monster
remaining.
of a guy because I played right on the baseline when I returned. So it would have been difficult. If he hit the ball into my body, I think he might have hit me 3 times. It's a nice little play right there from John Isner. Not doing too much of that forehand
15
coming
all.
forward, this time taking it up the line. It's one of the best backhands that John Isner's hit in this match.
15-30.
Rip across court. A little bit of a door opening here in this game, possibly. The big man.
Hill.
From
40-30.
Stevie Johnson continuing to put himself in good positions on the court.
Game Johnson. 3 games all, third set.
Frustration there shown by Isner. Hoping to get a look. One breakpoint chance for Isner. Johnson with the only break of serve.
Love.
This is where we need the inhibitor. Greg Sharp, the most brilliant man ever in tennis history.
What
Too
a
good.
job.
Yeah, heard Stevie say that. Too good.
Get some of those Sharko
30
stats.
love.
Well, I'm just interested to know what's the most aces in a match by a player who lost. And now Isner Mahut doesn't count because that's 4 matches.
Right. I was going to say we'll just
7
go right
matches
back
or
to
whatever.
that match.
That doesn't count.
Okay, so you're taking that one out of there. I don't tell you what
30-15.
I don't know. Greg Sharko is this legendary ATP magician with information and stats. He's in a slightly uncomfortable state right now because of COVID. We have no buffet tables.
All of us are missing those. Another nice 1-2 there for John Isner.
40-15. $40-30. Let for service. Game Isner. Isner leads 4 games to 3 third sets. 1 settle.
And no drop off.
So we have an informed viewer.
Love 15.
Mark, California, says that Karlovic lost a Davis Cup match versus Stepanek and hit 78 aces.
Ooh, that's good.
And that's pretty high.
I didn't know.
15-0.
I didn't know that either. Apparently there's another match, not quite confirmed, but Joachim Johansson hit 66 aces against Andre.
There's a
Yeah, he had a big serve. I played him at the opening and lost in 4 sets. In fact, I think that might have been the match after I played.
30-15.
78 aces. That is 19 games. So that's 3 sets.
It's a good amount.
It's amazing. They say, okay, now how the heck do you lose?
I don't know. Make no returns.
40-15.
Gigantic forehand there from Isner.
40-30.
Getting a little of the frustration out from the previous point.
What would you guess the longest point in this match has been?
We had what I remember about a 20-ball rally. You think? Am I off on that one?
Game Johnson.
It's not jumping to mind right away.
4
Wow,
games
because
to
the one where he
third
dug
set.
in, Isner dug into that
Yeah,
one.
that's right. He played that
got through a
defense.
long one.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm guessing that could have been at least 20 balls.
This has been most of this has been hurry up and find out how you did.
That's a good way to put it. You see the stats before the match is over?
Love.
that second serve. 105. It's the outside line. Ace. 29.
He was irritated and missed the first.
That last serve with Ken Wrangle that was perfect to show you what I was referencing about how he really falls into the
30 love.
There is a lot of energy going upwards to generate that much pace. And we talk about how big his stature is, how tall John Isner is to be able to create the space on the serve, but his motion, excellent motion. He gets the most out of his frame that he possibly can to generate that pace. And do it, like you said, Ted, do it for an
40
entire
love.
match. Total points there, 195. Points played, Isner with 100 of them.
Game Isner. Isner leads 5 games to 4, third sets. 1 set all.
Classic 4-5 break.
And what Pete used to do is really kind of change up the way he was playing. Early in sets, he would like to go for big returns and didn't really care. What he would do is kind of lull you into a false sense of security that he couldn't hit returns in the court, which he could do. He just didn't really care if he won those early games. And so what we would do is all of a sudden go to making returns. That's another nice pass there from Stevie off that two-hander. But Pete would go into making returns, float a couple back, run around, hit a couple of big forehands, get himself to the net, apply some pressure. That's where you see he would really just flip the switch on his opponents. Did it to me a number of times. Didn't appreciate that. I thought he couldn't hit a ball in the court for a while, and all of a sudden they're all coming back in. I was like, what happened?
Left for service.
Best I've ever seen. I don't know if you can think of anything else. He was the best I ever saw, too.
Oh, it just changing.
Just getting that last break just to crush your soul. It's like you said, you think you're in this, he's going to go to a
40
tiebreak,
love.
and suddenly just play a different game.
Yeah, talk about ruthless. He would completely change it up. Not a lot of players have that in them.
Game
So
Johnson.
much for that idea. Johnson holds it.
5 games all, third set.
If he served that well, I don't think even Pete would have broken him there.
View from above again. They've opened up some seats even underneath the overhang, which you can't see in the pictures. Well, they have some seats open. I went and sat there and watched a little bit today to feel for the stadium.
Yeah, it's nice that they said we can go in there and watch some
15
matches,
love.
as long as we wear a mask and stay distanced from other people. So the players are actually looking for having a few bodies in there, a few hands coming together after some good points. Or big aces like that. Ace number 31. The big John Isner out here.
Love. Game Isner. Isner leads 6 games to 5, third set. 1 settle.
Set of games right there. This match.
Love 15.
John Isner, that backhand. Nice inside-out shot. Tough shot to hit there off a big kick serve, but he got that racket through quickly.
Tried to go behind him.
That's just great scramble from John Isner. That
Love
forehand
13.
that he put back in the court, in the corner of the, I thought, big forehand. Not easy to do. Good pass there.
Johnson's search for an escape hatch. Love 30.
Scramble there from John Isner. That pass up the line, buying himself a little bit more time. Had to look at that back.
15-30.
Couldn't get it done, but good defense from Isner.
Isner, just the second game in this match. It's a great game. He'll have two here. Great chance.
I don't know, Ted. Maybe Isner heard you about changing his strat up a little bit.
15-14.
Call it Pete. Putting a lot more balls in play. This is the best return game that he's had the entire match. Stevie Johnson has not served poorly here.
So 2 shots for the set and the lead.
On that
13-14.
It's good focus in that point. Stevie keeping John moving.
Johnson saw he had the line.
That is an unbelievable pass right there on that point. The two-hander that Stevie's been working on. Not a bad approach shot, really, from John Isner, but leaving just the backhand up the line open, and Stevie Johnson took the opportunity.
Advantage Johnson.
Those approach shots where you wonder, Ted, if it would have been a better idea to just take it right up the middle, right at Stevie.
Game Johnson. 6 games all. Third set tiebreak. Each player receives 1 additional challenge.
So the surprise so far in this match is that the second set did not go to a tiebreak. Steve Johnson had the only break of serve in this match to win the second set 6-3. John Isner won the first set in a tiebreak. These two have played a lot. This is their 10th career match against each other. Their 13th tiebreak. And interestingly, Jan,
1-0 Johnson.
Winning the first one tonight. It's 6-all head-to-head in tiebreaks.
Especially with Stevie winning 5 tiebreaks in a row, a stat that you wouldn't really believe, knowing how many tiebreakers John Isner usually wins. It's by a lot of matches getting through those.
Isner is held into the call on the left near sideline. The ball was called in.
You can see that ball curve in flight, and Isner probably saw the same.
He kept moving. He might have missed. Close ball.
Everybody knows out there.
Well, not that close.
Got it. 2-0 for Johnson.
2-0 Johnson. Isner has 2 challenges remaining.
Head-to-head is interesting. Where Johnson has the edge 5-4. And 4-2 Johnson on hard court.
It's big
2-1
mini break back
Johnson.
there for Isner. Johnson started out this tiebreaker energized from coming back from 15-40 in that last game. Couple of set points down.
Isner has had what for most human beings would be considered a ridiculous service. For him, 32 aces, 79% first serves.
Still pretty good for even for him. He wants more though. There's 33.
2-all.
Unreturned serves there. Half of those reserve serves not coming back.
It's actually pretty good for St. Johnson, 35%. I didn't think about that, perhaps. Isner keeps adding.
3-2 Isner.
This set, we're now in a tiebreak. There have been a total of, by the IBM stats, there have been a total of 6 errors. That's it.
That's an amazing return up the line there. Isner
4-2
way inside the
Isner.
baseline.
I was going to say, as they switch ends, Jan Michael, just try to look at it's this close. Isner has 2 decided edges, the aces, which you would understand, and second serve. He's pounded Johnson's second serves. Johnson winning 48%. Isner winning 76 on his second.
And then that's where you go into a tiebreaker situation like that. You start looking at the percentages. Johnson's serve percentage, not bad, 65%, but you miss a couple. Big John takes a couple cracks at it like that. They land in the court, and you find yourself in a lot of trouble.
4-3 Isner.
Stevie taking a little bit off that serve there. Smart. Goes for the kick.
And now this challenge, he had this in the first set tiebreak. Isner has 3 points. Can Johnson win one of them? Isner needs 3 points on the serve, I should say, to win the tiebreak.
I was about to say it's a little bit unfair. He gets 3 serves now.
Yeah.
The full on serving volley. We haven't seen that very often from John Isner in this match.
5-3 Isner.
Two
6-3 Isner.
Isner just going big into the body on that one. 137 big.
That's his Fastest serve. Set point.
6-4, Isner.
Fourth Isner set point. They've all been on Johnson's serve.
Just backing away from the big forehand firepower of Johnson on that one.
Isner.
So 6-5. Just to get you proper tiebreak score. So it'll be the 5th set point for Isner, the first on his serve.
All right, Ted, what do you take away? I'm taking T. I'm going to take the T completely away from Isner here. Get a forehand. You? You got to pick something. You're the great predictor.
Well, okay, so he's done this before. He's going to hammer wide.
All right.
Here you go.
Game.
Gamble's 2 for 2.
And third set, Isner. 7-6.
And
Isner leads by 2 sets to 1.
2 sets to 1.
Fourth set, Johnson to serve. (15-love). (30-love).
Third set.
40-love.
For Stevie Johnson faced now with the possibility to get through this match. He's going to have to go 5.
Game. Johnson. New balls, please.
Service game.
First game, fourth set.
For Johnson.
Think about a match like this for Stevie Johnson. At least most of these points haven't been that physical. It's long rallies, but go out
I won.
5 sets to serve that big. It'll be a tough thing to do.
Thanks.
Stevie rubbing off some of that stencil all over the balls.
I think there have been so many parts of John Isner's professional career that get underappreciated. We talked about his athletics, his athletic abilities earlier. A guy who's now 35 and still playing at a high level. A note that I thought was fascinating. His point. So the last 10 years, 10 straight years, there have only been 3 players who finished the year in the top 20 and won 30 or more matches. It's Djokovic, Nadal, and Isner.
Wow. That is impressive.
Heck of a consistency.
Yeah. Very consistent.
Of course, people say, what about Federer? Well, Roger had a year hurt.
Right.
And that's
Love
part of the
30.
consistency. Isner hasn't had that. And actually, you say, well, Nadal's hurt a lot. But Nadal's never hurt during the clay season. That's where he gets those wins.
It's a couple of errant forehands that put Big John in a bit of hurt here in this game. He's going to have to figure a way out of this one yet again.
Love 40. 15-14.
These courts are playing as fast as we hear. Would that be a good play? Isn't it more often?
I think so. I think he should be as offensive as possible when he has opportunities. Don't want to play too far behind that baseline for too long. I like seeing him defend when he can, especially on the other guy's serve. When he must on his own, but
Game Johnson.
The rarity again, just the second.
Johnson leads 2 games to love. Fourth set.
Against the second toughest guy on the planet to break.
it really John just starting off that game, a couple of super easy forehand misses. You usually see him making those kinds of errors.
Love. Code violation, ball abuse, warning is needed.
Waiting to see, Ted, if she was going to give the warning for the ball abuse there. And the reason I was waiting is because there's nobody in the stands for that ball to hit. So I was wondering, since it was going up to an empty stands, that he might get away with it, but alas.
Love.
Lull perhaps for Isner. Frustration certainly in that Johnson poised it.
Game Johnson.
And 3 quick games
Johnson
for Steve Johnson
leads 3 games to love. Fourth set. Isner leads by 2 sets to 1.
And Steve Johnson is just taking a quick start here to see if he can get this to 5.
That's a nice little pickup there from John. Not his ball to redirect the line.
15 love.
There's a definite lack of focus in this 4-set early. See if John can get that back.
30 love.
What looks like this could easily go 5 sets.
Love. Game Isner. Johnson leads 3 games to 1, 4th set.
It's not supposed to look that easy. Certain games you just.
He has put a bit of practice in that serve.
Yeah.
Just a couple hours, I'd say.
That's why I asked you about 2 hours ago. The games when you're Steve Johnson, you say, I'm just going to put my racket down. No use holding. 37 aces for Isner. Some bravado work again. Locale to follow the U.S. Open in full.
Love 15.
Now, what John will do in a situation like this is he might start going for broke on some of these returns and ground strokes. And if they land, I've seen him turn these matches where he's down a break, around very quickly because he lands a few of those, gets a couple few points, and all of a sudden he's back on serve. Steve Johnson needs to keep the ship steady.
30-15.
There it was, right there. Jake Lockley ripped it and didn't get it.
Exactly. He's fine with that. It's an interesting thing to watch him do. Heavy forehand.
40-15.
The amount of spin that Stevie Johnson puts in that ball. Look at the net clearance before it decides to come down on the baseline there. It's just too good.
Let for service. Game Johnson.
Stop him, Stevie.
Boy, that was really
Johnson
sharp.
leads 4 games to 1, fourth set.
Inches
Isner leads by 2 sets to 1.
Isner 68-26.
Those are,
15 love.
I mean, regardless of how you want to read the stats, those are positive for both guys. They both have played a high quality level of tennis throughout these 4 sets. John with a little bit of a hiccup in this early in this 4th set, a couple of missed forehands is really all we've seen from him on his serve. You see at that point, Isner almost refusing to take the ball to the forehand side.
30 love.
Been burned a few times in some great passes. That Stevie forehand. That incredible speed wasn't enough from that point. Last probably 11 shots there, Ted. It's getting long.
Left for
This match
service.
that is.
Forty love. Let for service. Game Isner. Johnson leads 4 games to 2, fourth set.
Isner's often in the position of being the one that I can just hold, I'll be okay. Right now it's Steve Johnson in that spot. Hold twice, and we're going to a 5th.
Interesting to see if John can land some of the big returns I'm assuming he's going to go for. Don't want to put too much energy out there. 4th set, you know, you have to play a 5th set possibly. But if you could get a few freebies there, put some balls back in the court, take some chances on some second serves, maybe get into the net. Possibly turn this around in this set here. Just, again, one break down.
The opener.
That's a great return.
Love
Talk about
30.
well defended. Stevie Johnson putting that ball back right on the line. unable to come up with that volley in the end of that point, though. Isner digging in.
Isner's reaction.
That's what I'm talking about, Ted. He hates being aced.
That was great. That's a great call you had earlier tonight.
If you can stand it.
Weren't with us earlier in this match. Jan Michael made that great point about Isner. The ace king hates when it's thrown at him.
I talk to him about it all the time. Absolutely.
Ooh, but that
15-14.
could be a pivotal double to Johnson. Was it after the ace? Just his second double. But now Isner again chances the third game in this match. Chances, 2 of them to get his first break. You're 2 for 2, Gamble. I'm putting you on the line. Where's Johnson going here?
Oof. Well, I've guessed Isner serves a couple of times. Stevie's either going to kick it out wide or a slider tee. He's been successful so far in the 2 out wide and the deuce. I guess he goes slider tee here.
Another great view there. You see it was just Isner defending.
John Isner just going in full slice mode in this point, trying to get himself an error from Stevie Johnson, but Stevie's staying the course and so consistent on these balls.
Long 17 shots.
So my 20 is a little bit off.
Advantage, Johnson.
John's lost a few of those points where he's tried that underspin approach shot.
Deuce.
Coming up with the point. Back to deuce.
Advantage, Johnson. Game, Johnson.
Very important save.
Johnson leads 5 games to 2, fourth set.
Moves within 1 game.
Isner leads by 2 sets to 1. La 15.
Some slight differences between them, Jam Michael. We referenced, of course, Isner with the ace edge. Here on second serve, but right now the significant edge for Steve Johnson. He's won 2 break points. Isner's 0 for 5.
Yeah, John really trying to dig into the last break point that he had, but unable to get through it. Steve winning a lot of those important ground stroke rallies so far in this match. Another block
Love
return,
13.
finding the line. See Stevie just sticking his racket out, using that pace that comes off that big serve. Even in the second serve, 119 that second serve.
15-30. All.
Some clear frustration in the stroke production from John Isner currently. Looks to me, Ted, like he's going to save what remaining energy he has.
30-40.
That for the 5th set.
I was going to say, the few points in this game have had that look to it.
I'll tell you what, one of the important things to think about here
Use.
Winner lose this 4th set for John Isner is how well he knows how to play these long matches. Many of them he's won in his career, so if it means conserving a little bit of energy in the 4th when he's down a break, so be it.
Advantage. Isner. Game. Isner. Johnson leads 5-3, 4th set.
So Isner comes back to salvage that game, and now we'll put Johnson serve.
Love.
Nice depth in that forehand. Stevie continuing to work hard for good positioning on these ground strokes.
Love.
A set that Isner approach attacking the second serve return hasn't worked as well. It's 6-10. There he gets to triple
40 love. Game on 4th set.
And
Johnson
so
6-3.
First night of the U.S.
2 sets all.
Open.
Final set. Isner to serve.
So John Isner will serve first, Steve Johnson to receive. These two longtime friends and opponents, their 10th career meeting, the first time they've ever played a 5th set. So Jan Michael Gamble, we get an immediate
15 love.
reading on one of the major questions coming into the Open from the men's side was how the men would be prepared for and could handle playing best of 5.
Well, certainly, I mean, both these guys are ready to do it. And also this match, though, not the longest rallies out here. So, yeah, not the most grueling, brutal match. And also today's climate, the weather has been quite favorable. We did see Schwartzman have an issue earlier today, so it's still pretty humid out there. Tough situation still to go out and play 3 out of 5 sets for these guys, but
led for service.
No doubt in my mind that they're going to get through this one.
Your point about the length of point is right. Longest rally's been 17 shots.
Right. So we've seen a lot of impressive aces and big shots. But we're not having 30-40 ball rallies out here 2 or 3 times in a game. Those kind of situations are where you're going to see the true struggle.
Led second service.
And really kind of prove the fitness of who's been doing the work and
30-15.
But it's also, Ted, it's not just about doing the work off the court. It's about actually getting matches, getting out there, getting match tough. You talk about match toughness all the time. What is that? That means just playing a lot of matches and getting out there. When you lose the matches or win, you're still practicing kind of in that kind of mode. That's how you build that toughness to play the long ones.
40-15.
41 aces now. For Isner, still serving at 78%.
Game, Isner, new balls please. First game, final set.
Played 5 sets, which is another reason why I asked the question. It's been a while. It was the same day for both men. It was the second round of Wimbledon last summer. We all remember Isner's famous 5-setters against Anderson and Mahut. He lost to Kukushkin in 5 sets in the second round of Wimbledon last summer. Stevie Johnson won his 5-setter against Alex de Minaur.
Good win there for Stevie.
Career record, interesting, John. Isner is 11-19 career 5 sets. It's in 6 and 8. And the finish line, well known for both. Tie break at 6-all.
$15 love.
Both guys really using that serve out wide in the deuce court successfully throughout this match.
Michael, do you think there's
30 love.
Does that play into either player's mind here, knowing that it's a 6-all tie break?
Well, I think it's just, it's the U.S. Open. You know that there's going to be a finite end there at 6-all. You're going to get a breaker out of it. So in a situation like this, you just want to pour it all on.
40 love.
Put it all out there, get yourself in that situation. Hopefully, maybe you can get a break early in this 5th set. Kind of cruise through it, maybe not. Maybe you have to play a breaker, but it's going to be that.
I just always wonder, for John to know what he's been through.
Game, Johnson.
Still happen.
1 game all, final set.
Though now the other 3 majors has that finite amount.
Right, so 12 games all of Wimbledon. It's a rule I actually wish they hadn't changed.
You would have been, you're okay with the...
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't think it affected the tournament very much. I mean, if you had a few matches that were a little bit longer. It did give us a fantastic final last one, of course, but I like the tradition, some of the traditions of our sport to stay in place.
15 love.
turn, getting it down on the feet there of Isner.
15-all.
He's been pretty successful when he can get that first ball at the feet of Isner and getting a look at a pass. He's made good on quite a few throughout this match.
(30-15). 40-15.
Just clawing this ball back in the court.
(40-30).
Stevie Johnson looking for that forehand out wide of the deuce there. That time, John didn't get quite as much on it, but also he's used it quite often on the second serves.
Game, Isner. Isner leads 2 games to 1. Final set.
So, 5th set, underway on serve.
Love.
This is we've had 5 full 5-set matches played this first day of the US Open. The 6th match that started a 5th set but didn't finish.
Love.
2 American winners in 5 sets today on the men's side. Jack Sock won the tiebreak, and Marco Scarone came back 2 sets to 1 down to win.
Scarone achieving his highest ranking to date. You see that from him.
One player retired. Jason Jung retired.
40-11.
And see, Diego Schwartzman had cramp problems at the end, lost the last 3 games to fall in the 5th to Cameron Norrie.
Game.
These 2
Johnson.
players look fine.
2 games all, final set.
Yeah, I don't see either one of these guys retiring this match. They both look like they're ready to go with the distance here. That would be a major surprise for me. Fortunate Jason Jung was up a set, a couple of sets in 4-0. I thought I saw the scoreline there. Through it.
Track live real-time stats, draws, etc. USOpen.org.
La 15.
Just his 4th double fault for the match, with 2 in this set.
Love 30.
John just did not get that ball far enough away from the Stevie Johnson forehand. He's able to get too much spin on that ball. Tough to volley.
$15-13.
132 up the tee. Actually, not even quite up the tee. Still gets the job done. Stevie looking for that one out wide.
$30 all.
See John taking a little more time than usual.
Because there's no noise inside, you're hearing noise outside. It's a destruction kid. Listen. That defines New York, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh, Stevie with a big return.
30-40.
You played here enough, so you can tell me your experiences. I've always thought winning this championship was a double. You had to win against the best players in your sport, and then you had to beat New York.
I was lucky enough to have New York usually on my side. You know, I played with a pretty fiery exterior, and they liked that about me, I think. You can tell. But I was out there to compete when I was on the court, so I think the New Yorkers enjoyed that. But
John erases the break point easy.
It was never the people. I loved playing in front of this crowd. It was sometimes the noise, though.
That's what I meant, not the people. It's everything. It's the traffic, the noise, the congestion.
Yeah, all those things can be difficult coming and going in the stadium. It's going to be very much a drain.
Johnson had it, and now a second break point. And remember, as we watch this in the fifth set, there have been two breaks of serve
Johnson
in this match, both by Johnson, and they both each break won him a set.
We see the improved backhand, the two-hander that he's able to kind of flick up the line there. His passing shots, it's a good one there. Stevie taking away the tee serve. Smart move. Unable to do anything with that one.
Advantage, Isner. Game, Isner.
Well, two shots.
Isner leads 3 games to 2, final set.
Holds himself 7 aces already in the set.
This would be a rocking atmosphere for sure. Well, hopefully, a lot of the fans are watching back home and enjoying this match nonetheless. Still like that play from John Isner, a little bit of a bunt and barge there.
15 love.
I like that bunt and barge.
Not much for the saber there. The bunt and barge can really throw your opponent for a loop.
Parity love.
Just able to rush John enough that he couldn't get anything on that backhand of the line.
30-15.
That's one way to take out some frustration. Just lay waste to the next ball you can possibly get your racket on. Crunchy.
Ratios are terrific.
Oh, no way. He pulled that ball around John Isner and way inside the line.
Beautiful. Good shape.
This is crazy spin.
40-15.
Looks like a bowler. Throw that ball down. Yeah. Amazing.
Game Johnson. 3 games all, final set.
So think about this from Steve Johnson's standpoint. Midway through the 5th set, and he has not dropped his serve. It's one of the great unpublicized notes about the greatest match, the Nadal-Federer-Wimbledon match. You would never think about this. Rafa Nadal dropped his serve one time in that match.
That is
Nobody thinks about it. Federer's 2-set wins with both tiebreaks.
Love 15.
You wouldn't think about that about Rafa Nadal.
He does defend that extremely well. And not the biggest serve in the world, but the second ball, second to very few. Nice little play from Isner there, getting in there quickly on that volley.
15-all. $15-30.
What I'm seeing right now, Ted, is Stevie Johnson continuing to sit on that out wide serve in the deuce court. He has tried to take that serve at least away from Big John Isner.
And leave the tee?
He's leaving the tee. It looks like that's happened in the last couple games. He's got a couple of really good forehands because he's covered the entire court over there.
Johnson is serving the call on the right center service line. The ball was called any.
Ball pretty much on the line there. Might as well challenge it.
$30-all. Johnson has 2 challenges remaining.
As soon as I say that, Teddy,
40-30.
No, I was going to say.
Stevie wasn't there.
Even,
Well, so much for that theory.
well, you're not going to play anyway. He doesn't return serves. Maze from Isner.
Game Isner.
Serve +1.
Isner leads 4 games to 3. Final set.
You believe that serving first in the final set's a decided advantage?
Yeah, I think it's definitely an advantage, right? To show that score line a little bit. You have the hammer. If you can get the break, you can get through it pretty quickly.
15 love.
Here, you have to believe, 3-4, this is sudden death for Johnson.
Exactly. So that's when you play the score line a little bit. You obviously like to stay in the moment as much as possible. Play 1 point at a time. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Especially in these long 5-set matches, you have a little lapse of concentration. We saw it from John Isner early in the fourth set.
Love. Love. Forty 15. Game Johnson. 4 games all, final set.
He's 4-all. Winner to play Barranquez in the second round. Jan Michael, Johnson was. That's
La 15.
Covering. As soon as I did say that, everyone got by him, but he is often covering that out wide serve. Very good return there. I'll tell you what, it wasn't a bad serve. You had to put your body in that spot. You want to move that one back. Johnson just coming short on that backhand up the line. He's connected
15
quite a few times, got a few past the big man there on those important points. Unable there. That was a big one.
Thirty 15.
Point is Isner just having to go to the tee. Johnson's playing me out there. Ooh,
30 all.
It's still amazing how much spin he's able to generate on that forehand there.
That's a handful of those that Isner has let drop in this match.
Yeah, John really no place to return that regardless. If he would have had to volley that ball, he didn't get back behind the baseline. Teddy, you pointed out a couple
40,
times,
30.
pointed out how far in the court he gets when he hits his serve. It's one of the negatives if you don't get back in that position. If the guy hits a good ball up the middle, you could be in some trouble. Major asset on the offense, but it could be a detriment. He's having to face some defense.
Johnson has done that to frustrate Isner several times.
You just don't see
Use.
slice passing shots all that often. Even Steffi Graf didn't slice her passing shots. That's a good one there. What a beautiful shot. There you go.
Advantage.
Isner.
He did. And John gladly took it with his 49th ace.
133. Thundering at the tee.
Game Isner.
And 50. It's in the 5-4.
Isner leads 5 games to 4. Final set.
Offseason, what do you want to call it? I see him do a lot of work on the court.
Oh.
15 love.
Putting the work in as well, but it's again, it's about being match tough. If they played enough matches to be able to go through a match like this, well, the answer to looking at just this match is yes. Certainly in this situation.
That little baseline pickup from Johnson.
30 love.
Fantastic return. That return, just finding the baseline there. Isner.
Has
40 love.
changed to the better for Johnson as this match has gone along. Isner was really hurting his second serves in the first half of the match.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the byproducts of the fact that the way Isner plays is
Game.
starts to miss some of those returns later in matches.
Johnson,
That's why
new ball
we see him
space.
lose some of these 5-setters.
5 games all. Final
That
set.
said, Johnson has won 7 of 9 on his second serve. Johnson has served 5 games in this final set and lost 2 points.
We saw after John got broken in the 4th set, early in that 4th set, he started to kind of go for broke on his strokes, maybe conserve some of that energy. But he sort of continued that trend into the 5th set where he kind of just still going for the big returns. It's kind of hit or miss. If he makes a couple, he's dangerous in that game. It makes Stevie work, but also got to hand it to Stevie for serving quite well throughout this match.
So 1 serve a game for each man before the tiebreak.
$15 love. $15 all. $30-15.
It's 51 aces for Isner.
$40-15. Game Isner.
All right, well,
Isner leads 6 games to 5.
This is the most he's had in a legitimate match, one match. Bemelman's at Wimbledon a couple of years ago.
Isner challenging the call on the right far sideline. The ball was called in.
Match Mahout.
Oh, that's one match too? You don't account that one.
I don't count. As one match, no.
Ooh.
Second serve.
Here's one thing I'll say about
15 love.
match. Isner should have been given 3 rounds of prize money.
You should go back and tell Wimbledon that. Maybe they might cave in on it. They were pretty generous this year with players. Ooh, that's fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
15 all.
And get away there.
$30-15.
Good time for the big serve up the tee. Nice positive attitude after that from Stevie.
It's to 30 all. Just barely missing it on the baseline.
40-30.
Well struck ball.
So how thin the margins are. That margin on that ball is match point. It's a game point.
Giant backhand return there from John Isner, going in a big part of the court. Good depth on it as well.
Take a crack at this.
Isner challenging the call
with
on
a
the left
challenge.
baseline. The ball was called out.
Just one
His
the
body
last second.
just a little bit.
Just one this last second serve return point.
Advantage Johnson.
Well.
First ball.
Isner has 2 challenges remaining.
Third challenge for a tiebreak.
Deuce.
Faults have not been an issue for either player. Untimely one. That is Peter Smith, longtime USC coach. He was Johnson's college coach.
Advantage, Johnson.
Unfortunate error on that forehanded point. He set up well. Very makeable opportunity there from John Isner.
Point, Jan Michael showing Isner's just going for this every shot.
Yeah, that one just a little too sloppy. He needed to give himself a little more space with his feet.
Double faults in the end.
Use.
Stevie Johnson thinking ball hit there. I really like seeing that. Always a gentleman on the court.
Advantage, Johnson.
Much was Isner to kick himself over that.
And John had to look at that. There's a pretty good body serve there, really, from Stevie. Got into his body a little bit and unable to really get a good swing at it. Good smart serve placement from Johnson.
Game, Johnson.
So we arrive.
6 games all, final set, tiebreak.
Something that should be no surprise. Deciding tiebreak.
Each player receives 1 additional challenge.
Line tells you Isner's won both tiebreaks tonight. In their history, head-to-head, coming into this match, Johnson had won the last 5 tiebreaks.
Well, Ted, you called at least 2 or 3 tiebreaks going into this match. Here we are at our 3rd and final.
Head-to-head tiebreak record is now 7-6 Isner. In the 3rd set tiebreak, same start.
1-0 Johnson.
Quick early mini break there for Stevie Johnson. Just blocking that return back. John didn't quite get away from the ball enough to execute that inside-out forehand as planned. Those are a couple of great passing shots there from Stevie Johnson right here in this
2-0.
John covering the line. He'd been passed
Johnson.
a couple times on that one. Unable to get over to the second pass. What a return Isner hit to set that point up. They hand it to Stevie for the scramble.
Has been relentless in attacking second serves, but Johnson's winning 65% in this set. 3-0 Johnson.
3-0 Johnson.
Isner with 51 aces, and he could use a couple of the hammers right here.
That forehand in the corner, into the forehand corner, has been something that John has not hit that well today. It's been a little bit of a detriment for him. Misfiring again on that one.
Second serve.
111 out wide.
3-1 Johnson.
What a helpless feeling against that. Somebody's that good.
Nerves of steel.
Down
out
0-3,
there.
down 3-0 in a deciding tiebreak. He hits that. Then follows with a hammer.
3-2 Johnson.
52 aces. There's no wins both points on this serve.
Steve Johnson with 22 matches in this. It's not a bad stat there. Not quite the same as 52. Still ahead of mini break.
The interesting part, we'll talk about it after this. Well, as they change ends, total points
4-2
I've always thought
Johnson.
J. Michael means nothing. It's a curiosity. No. But I'm looking at this one, and I'm more than curious tonight. Johnson's won 12 more points than this one.
That is interesting.
And if he gets that tiebreak, yeah, you say. Caught me off guard. Again, to measure how well Johnson has played against the relentless serve.
Possibly he's the one that obviously has come up with a couple of breaks he's not been broken himself.
John Isner has not broken serve in this match. 5 break points. Johnson 2 breaks. See the scoreline, they won in the second and fourth sets.
Five to Johnson.
Good second serve. Johnson just a couple of points away here.
To Johnson. Six, 3 Johnson.
The match on his serve.
Three match points.
And beyond the third round here, Steve Johnson. If he can finish this point, it would be one of a pretty significant win for the US Open. And there it is, Steve Johnson.
3 sets to 2. 6-7, 6-3, 6-7, 6-3, 7-6.
Thank you.
Moving on to the second round, Steve Johnson.